right? One of the better Sojourns we had, in the Western region. Really able to come up with clutch plays time and time again. So Admiral, nice movement on the Lucio, able to get in, get that touch, but Spark.
And hello guys, we are. And hello guys, we are. We are live right now. So we are. We're up and ready. This. Hold up.
No one really able to benefit from that. It's just Bellasaria getting lit up for a moment and then eventually getting cut down to size.
Yes, no comp changes here.
Today we're watching the Overwatch League playoffs.
I think these are going to be some of the comps that we see throughout like a majority of the
so yeah.
Reaper really good, in terms of like self-survivability and also putting pressure onto that, Winston.
Yo.
Being able to escape with a raid form. And in Sojourn, we know how powerful she is at the highest levels of play. I mean, just being, the players just nail these shots so easily.
Hold up. Yo. Okay, that's good. I think I had the wrong mic in at first. But now we are good. Let's get back in here.
The Spitfire are happy for the Fusion to figure out how to get to the first.
That first fight, the real difference there, where it's like Sparker hits a rail shot and just gets a player or two weak and just backs them up. But it's going to be the Kitsune rush right away, the protection there, giving everybody the involved for a little bit.
Up on the chat.
Okay, that's enough to clear the Spitfire away, but eventually they're going to look to be coming back to reclaim what's theirs. Point does get flipped in this fight here, and it's going to be a sound barrier now for the Fusion, who want to hold on to this. But it comes a little later from the Spitfire, which means right now they have that extra durability advantage. Sparker doesn't opt to go for a railgun here. The Fusion again just gets shoved away from the objective, then a point split back.
Hold on. Let me just restart it.
Right now in terms of the meta, right, where they know that they can back off for a quick second.
Quality.
Give up for a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
The abilities just in general.
That's better.
Right back and get the advantage. It's two players with that Death Blossom. Bellasaria has to use Primal, and he's going to get absolutely nothing for it. It's London in complete control.
Regardless of the metagame, this is actually something London are very good at doing, right? They control the point, they push.
And if you think London are gonna win?
Position. In that case, it was AimGod who had to swift step away, but he'd already taken so much damage and hardly had a jump available. They go in, they block Chirico. That's a great way to begin the fight. This is a very effective zoning element for the most part here. Bellasaria cops one sweet. There is his force back for even longer at 72%. This is a mirror image of last round so far. How do the Fusion get back in now with that MN3?
And you also have Hottie with a Primal Rage, right? As they try and push in, use some of that speed. Death Blossom, that's going to result in nothing as you're just so desperate, Mitch. Just trying to make it towards the point.
Carpe just looking for anything at this stage. Still, London gives them absolutely nothing. It's a late Kitsune rush from the Spitfire, and they're going to use this to capitalize here. This is so classy from the London Spitfire, Matt. They know the Kitsune rush has a limited length, so they disengage, such that the Fusion have to move off of their own Kiriko ultimate and lose that bonus. And then they use one of
London have won again.
Just their comprehension about, like you said, Matt, the way this metagame works, at least in this matchup, really shining through.
And you can see where they put down that Kitsune rush, where Hottie was actually able to, get in the middle of it, use some of it on the outside, and dip back into it, and then go to the other side and go, attend to some players and put some pressure down, and still have that haste buff. Really good use of the character there at the start of the London Spitfire.
Yeah, great opening, and again, Backbone really critical on that Reaper. In terms of skill expression in that hero, not always easy to show you the highest of heights and the peaks of what Reaper is capable of.
It's 2-0 for London Spitfire.
To put him on like a consistent output hero,
pretty much almost won.
Area of effect ultimate. He's exactly where he needs to be. He stays alive, and he's there when it counts. Nice stuff here for the London Spitfire. Good opener is Philadelphia now left scratching their heads. How do they answer this? They're losing out in the mirror.
It's 1-0 for the London Spitfire.
The Overwatch League is brought to
That
you
was
by
amazing.
the official trading
Upper
card
Deck.
of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Wow. And me, as I live in England myself, I am going for the London Spitfires. So yeah, I really hope they win. We have 3 minutes until the second game. Wow, but that game ended very fast. I mean, we did get in at the halfway point, but still, in my opinion, the game went pretty fast. So you know, but still amazing. Oh, look at this artwork, amazing. Everyone posting on Twitter. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Bruh. This first game, can already tell it's gonna be amazing. One minute to wait. While we at, how is everyone? Did everyone in here get the new update? I don't think they drew that. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're right back into it.
Perks live at the Overwatch League playoffs and grand finals through the mobile app. Get all broadcast perks, plus 100 tokens, new in-game cosmetics, an exclusive spray, and all new drops across games. Tickets available now.
And so it's a shell-shocked Philadelphia Fusion that we see as they meet the initial onslaught of the London Spitfire. A team who we raised a bunch of questions about, Matt. Can they acclimate to this meta? Does Hardy have what it takes to strap on that Winston and just go absolutely wild? The answer, I guess, to both questions is yes. London, with their coaching staff, who we've just spent a lot of time complimenting this season, have crafted a style that seems to suit their approach really well. They're an aggressive, relentless team who love to identify and then make the most of small gaps, small opportunities to push in and get a fight win. Very impressive opening from London.
Yeah, and although it's like a Winston-based comp, right, you wouldn't necessarily call it something like reminiscent of a dive, right? Like if you kind of subbed out the Winston for, let's say, like a Zarya, you would probably be calling this comp that looks very similar to something like a rush style of play, which is right in the London Spitfire's wheelhouse. Like that's the exact style of play they want to do. So at least after that map 1, good things looking for the London Spitfire.
Yeah, really enjoyed the way they managed to get a lot of value out of Reaper. Again, we discussed it a little bit. The backlines here, quite often, you know, you're looking for a bit of utility from your supports. The kind of utility in some cases when you use Zenyatta that can let you pressure down tanks a little bit easier, especially ones that don't have static shielding. But because that's not available, because Kiriko obviously is very powerful and Lucio is required for that burst of speed, you bring Reaper in, who's just a bona fide tank killer. It's his job to really start cutting into that Winston's health pool as soon as he turns up. Eichenwald is going to be our next map in the series.
Eichenwald.
Yeah, and Philly, you picked this, right? This is a little bit more of like a dive-centric map that has some high ground control.
This map would be
you're gonna need
good.
to have here. So maybe they can throw the London Spitfire up. But we've seen London put together some really good performances on this map throughout the season. So, you know, although an interesting pick here from Philly, I still think London's going to be very strong and effective.
This was the kind of map, by the way, that people took the London Spitfire to during their Reinhardt and May days to try and punish like their lack of range with that composition. London still would manufacture ways of turning the terrain of the map to their advantage, even when they're attacking on that, you know, that precipitous climb in the second phase. We really feel like it can be a pressure to play into enemy high ground plus long-range hit scan. They still manage to find ways to make it work. Philly don't want to change their composition here. They're very much locked into this. And again, a lot of the focus is going to be on how effectively Hardy's going to be able to close the gap and start to pressure into the fusion. I just want to say it, man. It seems like Philly have been very happy to put a lot of ground in that first map, right? You mentioned they were getting bullied away a lot. It definitely seemed like they were disengaging quite frequently, you know, at the risk of just getting blown out in a straight-up fight.
Yeah, and I think you probably see them disengage because I thought actually in the first map, you know, Sparker was doing a great job nailing some of those shots on the Sojourn, right? Those rail shots can just take like large chunks of HP from an opponent. And also there's like not a lot of like burst healing, right? Like you don't have like a Baptiste like regenerative burst or just the healing that he provides. Like you're playing Lucio.
Wow.
That
first blow
shot
from...
there. Dude, we've seen Backbone do that.
Oh, there's the smile.
Backbone not
historically,
not historically a Widowmaker player, but has been able to do that time and time again.
Oh, he's got to let him know, doesn't he, Matt? Backbone switching over to Reaper now because his work ostensibly is done. No Sojourn at the start of the fight for the Philadelphia Fusion. They have to disengage there, no doubt about it.
That was amazing.
Here. And in they go. Here's the dive. Bellisry have moved up and going to be blown up pretty quickly. He's not going to get out. There's going to be protection Suzu employed to make sure he can walk away in one piece. The London Spitfire almost 3 ticks on this point already. And oh god, the Fusion step off the points.
It's playoff time. You can tell by the way the Philly Fusion are playing right now. So, oh man, is no, not the best of starts right now from Philly is. You know what? I mean, London now 5 on the clock.
Triple kill from
you
London.
have,
wow.
like, some type of like big play.
I did not expect
Philly, right?
that.
You get like a fight win, you know, something really goes your way. You can start to build some momentum because right now, London. I mean, every time we go to like individual shots and player camps, right? Everybody's laughing, they're loose. They feel like they have a great understanding of the game.
They don't let up, do they? The London Spitfire. They can take it though. Don't worry. There've been many teams that have been more than happy to have fun at their expense in years gone by, but now they've worked for this to be a team that can threaten the likes of the Fusion, and they're making the most of it in the match chat. Philly though, very much focused on the next phase of the plan, which is go, oh god, help us, oh god, stop the Spitfire at all costs. They've got a Kitsune rush up their sleeve here. They've got to keep Carpe alive. The Okuda able to reach him. And here's Kitsune rush from both teams out. This is going to be pretty intense, man.
I mean, just so much damage that's unanswered. But you have the sound barrier available for the London Spitfire first. Let's see if they can capitalize in that brief moment. They do. They get a kill on aim.
Yeah, that's huge. Fixer went for the sound barrier, but AimGod wasn't able to capitalize.
This is good for the Americans. Oh, but they get a kill. They have a Widow at the back that just killed one of them.
He backs on away. Very quiet start for the Fusion here.
Oh, no, man, that wasn't a Widow. That was the Soldier.
Admiral had the sound barrier, and the Philadelphia Fusion are still kind of like building up towards it. And Philly gets it probably like, I don't know, like 3-4 seconds after, but that's enough for London to locate a player who's weak and finish him off, which is AimGod.
Spark is overclocked. Oh, you lose Carbane. Gets picked off at the start, apropos.
That was not a good ult.
He just walks up to the car.
He must be trying to LOS with it, right? Maybe he doesn't expect a face full of Hellfire shotgun pellets.
I never there was a point with that ult.
And that's another checkpoint given up by the Fusion.
Wow.
They had 4 players alive. They're under a lot of pressure. Granted, But it's not a great look either, as the Spitfire now are absolutely blasting through the map. There, Backbone. Love a little bit of checkers.
Backbone nearly died there.
Teleport in midair. I saw a clip, Seagull playing Symmetra. He was able to get a sick teleport back on the map. Just the attack here, man. This is an insane time from the London Spitfire. 4 minutes plus to take the final point. And it's not even just the final point. Like, they're going to get, like, almost around this corner where the end of the map is right there.
Carpe just trying to keep people away from the card.
They might come back though. The fusion might come back. Because this has happened to me personally. Like, oh my god, what is going on? I think... Oh, and there it is. That is game. That is nearly game. And that is game. Oh no, that's just round 1.
This is a Philadelphia map pick. And the London Spitfire on their opponent's map pick just runs it down, finishes the map with the 407 in the bank.
I mean, I'm watching AimGod trying to heal Fixer, right, with the Overdo. It's like he's trying to give out, like, first-class tickets to Morbius, and Fixer's like, no, I don't want that. You can't get any of the healing because the bloody bubble just got dropped on top of the carton. Not a lot going on, so London Spitfire feeling very good. 20
Spitfire just chatting
8 of those for Backbone, 7 for Spark.
in my chat.
5 for the Philadelphia Fusion. Oh dear, they are not ready for this. Carpe unable to get on the board with that Reaper, whereas Backbone has been cutting a bloody swath through his opponents.
And I think the London Spitfire in the chat, they were talking about secret agent and James Bond. I assume, you know, Carpe, it's a thing in COD, you know, you put out that 0 and 7, the 007. It was you know, a little James Bond style line there to start the half. That's rough.
Admiral, look at this.
Wow.
Now, Swift Step's available, but he touches the, so he touches the death zone before that ability can actually activate.
So unlucky.
There is like a little bit of a channel to it, yeah.
We're so close.
There also was an invulnerability window with that ability, but invulnerability sort of frames don't really care about.
They don't go for the first widow kill.
And plus that invulnerability phase has been cut much shorter in the latest patch.
So how do you bounce back from this if you're Philly? Like,
bro, you need Carpe.
You chose
Carpe to wake up.
Yeah.
You Carpe, there it is. Okay.
In there it is. Yeah.
Cuckoo clock going off there.
Wow.
Going to be dispatched early here. MN3 has a pocket to play in.
Oh, they already got 1 kill. What is going to happen? Are Fusion gonna come back? Are Fusion gonna come back with this? They actually might. By the way, guys, we'll probably only be able to watch 2 games tonight. So yeah, very sad, but it is what it is.
MN3 able to hit a nice rail shot is. I think even if you don't get the best game from Carpe, if you know MN3 starts to do some of the things that we've seen throughout his run throughout the season on the Sojourn, it doesn't really even matter what happens with the Reaper, right? I think you can really start to turn the tide. That's
a great point. I mean, can you expect that out of MN3, right? Who's
they're actually pushing the payload really good.
Pretty fresh start of the year.
I don't want to say it's easy to play great during the regular season. It's not, but you know, you got some teams in the regular season not up to par with some of the way.
Oh, he does that one thing where, like
now is the time
you keep crouching while shooting.
Show up in week 2 of the summer showdown, but
well, they're running. They're running. Well, the Fusion are going crazy right now, to be honest.
Of that fight there is the Spitfire defensively finding a little bit hard to navigate their Winston composition.
This is looking good for Philly.
Yeah, I think the
I mean, you're gonna have
Spitfire defense is not as good as their attack, so that might be their downside.
Where you could actually put yourself in a position if you win this fight to actually end up with like more time in the bank going into that final checkpoint.
Bear in mind, these shots pierce. Fusion definitely going to break line of sight and trying to avoid around the card. Hardy trying to stop them here as they go in. Sound barrier for Fixer now as Landon's going to go with the Kitsune rush. MN3, much of this damage being dedicated to the enemy Winston. He needs to get him out of the picture here. Over the top, he comes again. AimGod. Oh dear, okay. Yeah. Can't get out of that. He actually switched steps to a teammate.
Oh my god.
In that death loss by Backbone, who now turning up here in his second half.
Belosria.
The fight that they needed to win.
Belosria really just walked himself out the map.
To stabilize here, get control of the top of the castle. The Sparker is going to be able to rain down. I mean, this is such a good angle for the Sojourn. Like, you do not want to be trying to fight that angle from low to high, trying to hit those shots. See the disruptor shot just ended up there, like kind of forces them off of that ledge, just trying to get them into that castle.
Another disruptor shot will be up here for Sparker, which gets extra annoying if you try and take the stairs as the fusion. They instead opt to
Let's see, will they push it back?
dally a little bit here. They're trying to get the Junkenstein challenges, fair enough. Cramped by their land, boys. Primer rate here for Belosria.
Disruptor shot just knocks,
I feel bad for Belosria, bro. This guy just walked off the map.
Blocks it, and look at that. Belosria goes right over the top. And the London Spitfire, they just sound barrier and speed boost right on through. And Backbone just insta-kills Carpet.
That's not the first time that the London Spitfire have done
There goes
that.
Belosria.
And we saw it actually on Lijiang Tower guarded, right? Belosria tries to engage, he gets booped to the side, and then Admiral sound barriers speed boosts the rest of the team in. Belosria is caught outside the play.
Wow.
What's terrible for Philly as well, as it took like what? It took like a minute off the clock to set all that up. And it was over in
It's like the NBA team.
They really got
Exact
nothing
same
for it.
thing.
Look at this, Hottie
They have
just
a few
getting
good games
survey
and
the
then-
land, seeing where everybody's moving for the Philadelphia Fusion. They can set up this next fight.
Sparker losing charge here as he's not made contact with a foe for a minute, but he's still maintained a little bit. Disrupt the shot, giving a tickle there. Hardy. And
Going. I would go in.
Fusion now. Okay, Kitsune Rush now off towards that right-hand side here. Carpe forced away by the
What will happen? What will happen?
Takes a licking as a result.
Winston nearly
Still
dead.
play around the card. Philadelphia. They want to push this in. It's Backbone's Death Blossom though.
Cards cleared, and the Winston is dead.
It's another
Wow.
stuff.
He just teabagged. Had he just teabagged him? Oh gosh.
For it at all. I mean, how many times do we see Belosria just jump in and he's getting hit with whether it's like a headshot from the Kariko and some Sojourn and Reaper damage, and he's like basically dead by the time he gets in there. They are not punishing Hottie at
It's
all.
also Admiral. Admiral's making it impossible for Belosria to actually get in a position to get damage off of his jump, let alone be in range to actually do damage with their Tesla cannon.
I don't get this team playing Kariko. Kariko, because Kariko, not that good.
Again, we're fighting in the castle. Another great place to disrupt the shot, and everybody's lined up. This could be scary.
Oh.
Taken down. Sparker just has to wildly aim to the turning mass of fusion bodies as they try and push their way up the stairway.
There.
Absolutely nothing for that.
He definitely
Wow.
was in that corner to try and maybe like they were gonna bait in, run on in, and nobody took the bait there from London. Is what now you have to back out.
Belosria, they go
Things have
back.
gone terribly
They go
for
back
Philadelphia
around.
Fusion after their point A take.
They just made a whole circle around.
Carpe's expecting them to follow up on that, but they already get 2 kills from that engagement.
And you see where like Hottie's playing. It's like they're almost kind of like stalking the Philadelphia Fusion. It's like, okay, we'll let you guys get in that position, and then they just start positioning London around them and collapse on them from so many different angles, and Philly can't do anything about it.
God.
Waiting as well for MN3 to use his slide because he knows that there's no mobility for the Sojourn to evade him as he tries to jump in, and then he probably calls his boys, come out the trees and start knocking heads. Here come the Fusion.
They're all grouped up.
Past the disruptor shot.
You see, that's how you should play comp. That's like how many people have been taught to play comp. There's 1 second. If the Spitfire destroy them now, they have 1-2-0. That would be amazing.
They're forced back inside the castle, and finally the Fusion finds some picks from MN3. Bit of a Hail Mary, but they'll take it.
Wow, there's...
Well, the MN3 gets a really good first pick, but they also, Carpe turns around, and with Vixa, they take care of Hottie.
I love that animation.
Trying to be
That
a
is the
nuisance
best
to Backline
animation.
Time and time again, was not getting punished at all. That time they adjust.
But they have 1 minute.
They take him out fast, and they're able to win the fight.
It's an air rush here for the Fusion. They're far from done. Again, the Spitfire disengaged.
The Spitfire go back.
Can't benefit from that haste. Well, they'll return to that area, but great disengage. Something we've seen a bunch from the Spitfire. Admiral really has
The Philly are actually doing good.
Hardy now, he'll just tickle from that corner. Backbone hoping to punish Belosria as he repositions as well. Great walk had to be used.
Wow.
Not a lot of burst healing for the Fusion, so it will take a while to get Belosria fighting fit once more.
And London's okay with this. Like, they're okay with Philadelphia just kind of like posturing and playing a little bit slow here because of how much time they have in the bank.
Carlos Ria finds himself just in the middle of that bubble with Backbone. He's trying to dance it. Spark is just able to find a window to get an easy headshot kill.
And I feel like this is like the wrong approach with a meta like this. I feel like you just need to take as many.
Wow.
It's a big Death Blossom.
That was
With the
amazing.
disruptor shot making
That was
it
an amazing
easy to
move
get
from
out.
the Reaper.
You know, there's so much.
Bella's Ria just by him.
You just play slow and wait
Self
to
in
just
there.
try and get the perfect
Hadi.
fight. The fight ends before you even have a chance, right? Whether it's like a.
What was the
a
point?
Reaper
What is the
shotgun,
point of
like
that?
insta-kill in close range, a railgun shot. That I think you just need to take constant fights with a meta like this.
Down barrier for the Fusion. They're going forward here. Both support ultimates from the Spitfire and the Fusion are a long
Good
way
job.
away from the cart.
Wow.
No chance of touching there. And I love what you mentioned, right?
That was
about
amazing.
the idea of just trying to take these fights
It is
early and
2-0.
often. The Fusion might be playing with the mindset of a previous meta where your fights were predicated on the ability
It
to
is currently
get it
2-0
quick with Sojourn,
for
or allow
Spitfire.
your MG to zero in on a low health target and then jump in and make the
Wait, so how much games do they play?
the rest of your team in. Now, you don't really need anything special to start these
The
fights.
Soldier got the
You
bled
need a good
again.
spot, close enough to the enemy tank, and you need that speed boost available. That's about it. The Spitfire say, we can make the Taj Mahal with,
Wow.
Tinder right now. We're willing to use very little to turn it into a winning fight. And you'll see the stats.
Philly are crying.
So many fights taken by the
They are
Spitfire.
crying.
They're ostensibly in control of objectives. We saw that on Control a bunch before. Philadelphia will have to find a response. Maybe get their land legs here as the London Spitfire constantly keeping them off balance. Stick around and see if this team for the East has got
Wow.
enough game to hang with a Spitfire.
That was amazing. That was an actually amazing game. It came so fast.
222 days since our screens were last graced by the Overwatch League. So good to be back, of course.
Top 5 plays of the week 2022 season. Kickoff class qualifiers week 1.
The Nano
Dum,
at the ready
dum,
for
dum,
Crypto could give this
dum, dum.
Marvel or Striker on the tack visor. He wants mini room control, but got zoned off by Foles, but he's gonna come back around. Full 360, Striker coming for the
Wow.
backside and the kids. 4K, he strikes again as Foles goes back to spawn.
Oh, the prodigal son of the Boston fans has returned home. Did you miss him, Boston?
Oh yeah, there's
Happy.
Boston have qualified as well.
Here, as we take a look, sees Twilight. What in the world was that? Someone call EC.
Washington.
There's no way Happy hits those. All those.
Oh my god.
And, okay, the Zarya is cool, but she got
That was actually
okay.
wow.
Am I gonna be in someone's YouTube video? Do I gotta shout out my mom?
Bruh.
You're a crack.
Paddy a little bit scared of Finn. I would be too, to be fair. He's got a lot of utility. Nano available. Nano blade for Sam. He dashes straight to the backline. Insta-killing. Landon. Sparker dead. Backbone 2. There's Admiral. Another 5k. No! Proper steals it. Come on, man.
Wow.
Oh, you're supposed to give him the clip.
San Francisco
Sambo still with 4 kills. Nice one.
popping off.
The Mayhem didn't really have a chance to respond there with ults of their own.
Nope. I take it back. I take it back. Nero proved me
my-
wrong. Nero proved me wrong again.
Are you serious, Nero? That was a massive anti from Ultraviolet. Nanoed. Nero with the 5k. Okay. There's the smile that I wanted to see. Forget map number 1. Icon Valda is yours. Oh my god. Oh, okay, so this is the anti-nade that set the entire thing.
Okay,
Oh my
guys, we have made a poll. Who will
What
win?
is more satisfying than that? I cannot
Philly
think of a single
Fusion
thing.
or London Spitfire? Guys can go vote right now to see who will win. Wow. That was amazing. Amazing first game by the... Amazing first 2 wins, actually. And we are back. Wow.
Spark had the numbers, but Balestria has the space. The mines! The double kill!
Shot through AimGod. He's looking for the elimination. He goes on the offensive, but AimGod shuts him down.
Wow.
Everybody really low inside of the valley. Dixon gets 2 for himself. Okay.
There's still time to get your tickets. That's right. Join us at the Overwatch League Grand Finals and catch Leah Denise and Sharice Booth, the voice actors for Junker Queen and Sojourn, live. Tickets are on sale now. Come hang with us in Anaheim. Eventually they're gonna pry me out of this garage and bloody send me over there as well, so we can all enjoy the vibes together, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be absolutely mental. No better place to return than the Anaheim Convention Center, which is, I mean, for me, Matt, it's really the epicenter of where some of the most incredible moments of Overwatch have occurred.
Overwatch, I mean,
Oh,
I've been there for like amazing Call of Duty events throughout the year, just like an awesome esports venue, just so many great events that have happened there, where I'm excited to see, you know, with obviously the first 2 maps of the playoffs in the books, kind of how things shake out for the rest of the field as we go towards next week.
Absolutely. If this is anything to go by, the play in this meta is going to be fast and furious. You'll notice that neither of these teams really making any changes, any sort of you know, to the lineups, right, in terms of our hero compositions. They are sticking with very much the same formula all the way through, Matt. London just seemed to be better. I mean, Philly better hope that Route 66 ain't the end of the line, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, what was you know, Game of Thrones season 1? It was like a life for a life, right? I feel like you know, hexagrams to get the Eagles back on track. Sacrifice the Philadelphia Fusion. They look dead right now, man. I mean, that's tough the way they lost Eichenwald, because they actually put together a really good offense on point A.
Also, they played 5
just
games.
after that, things fell apart.
This is my first time watching one of these, to be honest.
You know, with how this meta is, and I think like how fast some of these kills and fights go down, and I think just historically in Overwatch, like, the more fights you take, I think like the better off you are. It just seemed really slow for the second part of the map. They end up having like 4 minutes plus going into that B checkpoint, you know, trying to attack that castle, and they just kind of like walked around for a minute plus before that second fight took off. And what happens? You know, Backbone just kills Carpe instantly. There's nothing even happened. By the time you get to the next fight, right? You burned about a minute 40 on the clock. It's impossible to recover from stuff like that.
Well, for this sort of more moderate healing output that Lucio and Moira, and Kiriko, excuse me, provides, there's not much you can really do about being in the middle of the fight and then a Reaper headshot.
You're used to playing on live, talking about Moira.
Yeah, God help me. I mean, but if you get headshot by a Reaper, there's no way you're coming back from that. There's just not enough time to get you topped up. Maybe if you've got an incredible Kiriko, she can throw down a protection Suzu, but that's it.
Backbone.
Oh, let's see.
Backbone excels at these Widow headshots off the rip. Let's see. Everybody playing close though for Philly.
They don't know that because they're obviously not using a Sonic Arrow like the days of old to scout this out. But they're well aware now as Hardy pops his head up there to look over the back fence and sees his neighbors having a party. AimGod has the Suzu himself, steps away.
Yeah, he has to TP pretty far.
The Winston, London Winston almost got booped off by the Lucio.
The Swift step. So you have some of those cooldowns out.
But he comes back.
You see Philly playing a little bit further back now. Hottie goes deep there trying to make a play for MN3 in the high ground.
Belisria gets
oh.
It's going to be traded though. MN3 and Spark are both striking blood here.
Those traded kills.
Probably happy with an exchange like that now as Carpe wanted to buy a couple more seconds. Comes out of that right walk. A couple extra shots in the backbone to force him away. And Aim God's knives go to work.
Yeah, because I think that's the right move for Philly. You have to play close. I think
I'm
playing close
saying
probably gives you like 3
what it
fights
depends
versus
on
2.
is
You get another fight here,
mostly
and then probably another one there at the end.
Oh man,
With a kill on it,
like
that is massive. You have no, invuln there. You know, the healing output.
it depends on what you play, like what map you play, and are you good at that map?
And maybe trade here. It's not going to work out for Philly.
And you see Sparker's timing is immaculate there. He knows that Bella's 3 is going to try and deploy a projective barrier mid-flight because he's worried about getting headshot on his way in. In the days of old, Winston's used to turn their back on their dive target.
Oh god.
Headshot, like by a Widow, for example. But he actually gets a charged rail headshot just before Bella's deploys that bubble. So the timing's perfect. And it's like a half-health Winston that touches the ground. And then he gets swarmed on by the rest of the Spitfire. Not the start I think the Philadelphia were looking for.
We're getting butted over here.
Oh, buddy. Fish out of water, am I right?
Yes, that'll be point A taken there by the London Spitfire. And it's interesting, in the break, I actually saw, Crimzo kind of tweet whether it was like power rankings about the teams right now, but he also expected to, kind of put a note that he expected to see, a little bit of crazier results with a meta like this. And I think you can kind of see why, right? With, Sojourns being able to just, one-shot players before fights even kick off, how new Kariko is. I think when you look at teams who have these, really strong Sojourn players who can pop off at any time, those are ones you could look at for maybe creating some upsets, where Sparker playing lights out today.
MN3, nothing doing when it comes to those railgun headshots. He's got to find something here. Landon's already dealt with Carpe. The kunai come flying thick and fast when you're standing inside that Kitsune rush. Very, very scary, especially if you're getting consecutive headshots on large targets like Winston. The Spitfire now want to slow things down just a little bit, but Sparker's not able to get on the same program as the rest of the Spitfire quite in time. Velasria here, most of what he's doing is trying to check Hardy's position with this primal range.
You saw Sparker a little bit further out and decided to make a play in. To be honest, you needed to make a play at that moment in time because you were getting absolutely nothing.
Wow, that was a good shield by Belasria.
Lose MN3, sound barrier used for both teams here, just trying to keep players alive. As maybe you can now push back up to the cart and gain some control for Phil.
Oh, Hardy's dead. He goes in the back lane. Will he pop his ult? Will he? Yes, he would, but it was useless. Oh. Winston dead?
Well, Reaper is so difficult to just dislodge from areas, especially when you're playing that Winston, because he's so tanky, whether it be the lifesteal, you have a Wraith form for some, invulnerability, you have the protection shoes you now for invuln as well. Lots of ways to just keep Reaper just surviving on the point where, yeah, if the enemy Reaper's down and, you're kind of like in an even matchup, you push forward if yours is alive. Use that Reaper as like a battering ram.
Right, here come the fusion. They get caught on the high ground though. And look at Hardy sort of slowing them quite effectively. He gives up his life in order to do so though. The London Spitfire, those still get what they came for, don't they, Matthew? Another checkpoint to their name. Really just have to try and make this a convincing fight win. Try and generate some ult charge. Start to dig in for the next phase of the map.
Yeah, if you're Philly, you need to stop the bleeding, right, so to speak. You need to play close here. You need to rattle off a few fights in a row.
After this game,
because you lose a fight, you're going to get that ultimate advantage over the London Spitfire with the way the game looks right now. And they're just going to walk this thing home with how they've been playing so far.
Yeah, guys, I think this is the only game we can watch today. So
away from the Reaper, but close enough that the healing doesn't take too long to get to Bella's.
After this match against London and Philadelphia, we are going to be ending the stream.
Big pick there. The Fusion not in a position to take a full fight quite yet, but they'll move up here and posture more aggressively.
I think they should be playing more aggressively the entire series, right? They end up
Oh, there's Hadi.
To play from this corner, and that Kitsune rush comes in. They end up having to back up even more. They give up some space there. Force London to use those ultimates right outside of their spawn door, as opposed to just kind of inviting them in and giving them some payload progress. Not a ton of progress, but still, it's something.
They have very good positioning.
He looks to try and cut Backbone away from the rest of his team. He's able to do so for the most part, but he'll be back for more. Backbone absolutely doggedly pursuing the back line. Great beat.
Wow, that was a great
second
ult.
later, and that's the end of MN3. He still goes down anyway as Backbone gets his teeth in and won't let go. AimGod, meanwhile, out of the picture here. Very scary healing situation now for the Fusion. Carpe has to turn tail again. Philadelphia constantly being staved off by the Spitfire. Fight after
Carpe
fight.
dead.
The
And
disruptor
they
shot
will
damage
get
and
that
not
in.
take out Carpe at the end.
They,
So
oh,
Filtry has to jump
they're
onto the
so
point. You
close.
see how weak he is
But
right
thank
off the
God
radar.
Philly got on point.
Again, the healing comes quicker
So
from
they
Jericho
stopped
with
that.
the haste buff, but it's just not enough to keep them alive. Not against the burst damage of Sparker from on top of the truck here. Carpe trying to go for a gambit, looking for a death
Carpe
block, and
dead.
comes up with Admiral, and that is far.
And that is
far too
game.
little.
That is, wow.
And dude, it's difficult
Wow.
to finish this map in general, but to finish with a minute 29 in the time bank, it's just another gut punch, I think, to Philly, where this is their map selection yet again, as you just see London has such a command.
Philly
over the
map
flow of the
selection
game right
once
now, Mike.
more? Wow.
And again, you said you'd like to
And they
see Philly
lose like
just be
that.
more aggressive in general. You know, I know that obviously having to play without Zest changes the calculus a little bit, right? There's no doubt about it.
Carpe currently
Getting
crying.
Carpe into a position where he can succeed is such an important part of making this composition work. He's been able to make a couple plays alongside Bellisria, right? Late in the fight sometimes, they're able to coordinate. But Sparker's been all over MN3 in terms of finding those first picks in these fights.
But when you look at like the comps, so Mitch, right? It's not like you're missing out like Zest playing like you know, something that is highly mechanical, right? Like a Genji, an Echo, a Tracer, right? I feel like the Reaper is just mostly like positioning, cooldown management, decision making, right? Like, although Carpe has not played a ton, this is still a pick that we've seen from Carpe in the past. He should be able to play it at a high level here.
Having a slightly better time than the last couple of maps is all well and good for Carpe, but it's going to take more than that to put the Fusion in a position where they can actually have tempo.
Damn.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Happen.
I don't think the Fusion have had any sort of tempo throughout this entire series. London just are more than happy to engage very quickly. I do wonder like how London divine their win condition in some of these fights, right? A lot of the time Backbone is trying to wade through the massive bodies and just find MN3.
It looks like Backbone was setting up there for some kind of TP up on the high ground. Had the button hovered, but look at this. Interesting that London will allow them around the corner here.
Wow.
Maybe they want to just give them some space to just kind of maybe have Philly actually split themselves off from each other. You know, force Philly to play aggressive.
We'll give Backbone like an easy flank route that includes a health pack along the way. Might be the answer. Oh, okay, he doesn't expect Carpe to be behind him, so he takes a bunch of damage, gets the Suzu treatment. Fusion are grouped up here, except for MN3 playing on the card. I think London just neglect that, or leave him. They think they can take a 5v4, but Sparker immediately blown up.
You see how much, you know, the Kuriko's used just kind of for offensive purposes, right? You know, that triple headshot damage, really strong, you know, especially on squishies, but even for the Winston, as you know, Philly has done a nice job here getting the cart moving here right off the rip. London can't lose control of this high ground here on Big Earls.
Tough for Kiriko to find good damage when there's a Winston bubble in play. She does nothing to them, generally. Really hard to break them. And doesn't want to be inside one for risk of just getting too close. She's very fragile if she gets caught out. Hardy is picked off, though. So the Fusion, this is where they have to go. You think of the player advantage, they really need to pressure it a bit more. Okay, Kitsune Rush going to be in their face. Carpe's going to be rebuffed from the backline he intended to get to there. Spitfire hold it a little bit longer, but Admiral obviously not opting to sound barrier here. Stall if he can, but there won't be much in this defense for the Spitfire.
And the fights that they've been successful in, the Philadelphia Fusion, it's been MN3 getting a pick off on the Sojourn, which I think, you know, even for London, they've been really good, you know, at that as well, capitalizing. And then making Hadi pay for jumping into that back line. That time it was, you know, Fixa with some help from Carpe. Once that happens, you're able to push the Reaper and the rest of the squad in rather, you know, easily. And it's good things that happen for the Philly Fusion. They gotta punish Hadi more. You see, once he jumps in, he gets close to that back line, gotta make him pay.
Credit to MN3 there. A big pick as Carpe was getting turned away with nothing after that first engagement. Again, they try to access him, and Hardy's able to find the response. Crucial way to even the ledger somewhat, and Hardy even going to stop off for a mega, as his team's pretty dispersed at the moment. See Backbone sort of tracking back a little bit here. AimGod wanted to follow Carpe in there with the swift step. Fortunately, there's going to be a sound barrier in play from Fixer, and Backbone cannot hold up in the middle of this Fusion melee.
And this is really good for the Philly Fusion. You needed to get some type of momentum back in your favor. Nice body blocking here. And Velasquez just preventing some of those players to walk on through back towards the spawn as you're going to get Sparker because of that. You have the primal here too. You can play up on this high ground. You can actually just play for this door yet again. Philly could put themselves in a good position to finish the map.
They definitely have some ground to make up. When the Spitfire were in this position, Philly ended up, well, not being able to touch the card even though they had all their players.
The lower route, yeah.
I think Hardy scouted with that jump. That was all it was really supposed to be, but they had to act quickly, and they've lost MN3. Rather, they've lost Landon. MN3 was able to sit up on that high ground with the London Spitfire choosing oddly not to engage in that fight. They just get picked off. MN3 has his slide to be able to get away here. Hardy's going to have to look elsewhere. Right now, you'll be seeing nothing, sent back to spawn, and here come the Fusion now in this last phase of the map.
And you see how different the game looks when they're able to protect MN3. You know, Hardy's not back there causing problems, putting bubbles down, you know, causing issues, and you give him lanes to shoot from, and he's you know, as good of anybody in the league as Sojourn, and you know, you hit those shots, it just forces London back, or it just gives you an advantage early on in the fight.
Velasquez able to drive a wedge between the two sides of the Spitfire now, but gets caught a little bit too close to the thorns here. Backbone brings him down. Fusion forced to back away slowly here. Plenty of time to work with for Philly. It is tough to defend with Winston-based compositions. We see it on many maps here. London are getting a couple of these individuals caught out, namely Backbone sometimes just overextending ever so slightly. That's another big pick from MN3. I don't know how he expected to see Sparker coming on that flanking route.
And that was Sparker's overclock as well. Sparker was coming from that angle with the overclock and just trying to maybe get a pinch on with the rest of his team. But MN3 with a headshot takes him right out, and he's got an overclock, and he can sit up on top of this trailer. I mean, this could be, you know, an even faster time than London.
The Fusion can create a safe pocket for MN3. This ultimate could be devastating. This is quite the narrowed lane to play in right now. MN3 sliding away. Suzu has to be used there. Not available here. And MN3 might be macabre artwork if he's not careful. No, sound barrier timed as well. But of course, Kitsune rush here for the London Spitfire. They double it up with the sound barrier. The Fusion don't want to pink into that. So they wait a little bit. And here's that overclock from MN3.
Yeah, you see everybody trying to get behind some type of cover here for the London Spitfire. Waited out, but MN3 gets right in the mix.
Might be the man right now, Matthew. In the moment, MN3 comes alive. The London Spitfire now struggling to answer the threat that is his Sojourn. But Carpe's going to be brought down by Admiral now. The brute force aspect of the Fusion's lineup has been taken out of the picture for now. And Hardy's able to force MN3 away by nothing but his vault. This is a great spot for this from Backbone. Pix is opening well, and the Death Blossom yields a team fight win.
Oh, and that got dangerous there as the payload's so close to completing the map. As what had to happen there, Mitch, is everybody from the London Spitfire trying to come outside of that the spawn door from the left, and that's where like Velasquez and the rest of the team playing. And Hardy can't really go back to help them because he has to be the one contesting the points. So he's set on the point to whose job is it to clear that area out. It's Backbone. He gets over there fast with a speed boost, gets the Death Blossom right in the mix, and takes a few players out. That was massive.
Once more into the breach for the Fusion. Carpe has a Death Blossom this time around. First, forces Backbone away. That Ray 4 plus mega health pack means that his opposite number will be safe for now. Pretty early Winston bubble used there by Hardy, but Landon is able to pick Velasquez out somehow. Getting rid of the enemy Winston, Philadelphia. Their spear is no tip.
Yeah, and he's,
Philly seem to be winning right now.
A target to be teleported to from the Kuriko because not going to TP into your own death. And Lucio's not going to be able to get over there to heal anyway. So Velasquez really with there's no like honor, Zen to be able to heal a little bit at range. As soon as you break that line of sight and you're in a little bit too deep, there's no helping you.
Philly now have less time to get the map done than the Spitfire have in their bank. Just getting the map done at all is going to be their main priority here. Spark is able to force Fixer to run away here, meaning AimGod's the only one with the proximity to heal properly, and even he's out of the picture now. Spark is just able to pick Velasquez out of the mix, and again, the towering titan for the Fusion picked off early, and AimGod even, oh man, he even went for the ultimate.
Yeah, it's what I mean, Carpe, you see him underneath. Payload go try and TP away. London, they get that fight win. They hold on to Primal, which is going to be great
Alright.
to stall. They have
Let's
Sound
continue
Barrier, and
watching.
They're going to have the Katsuna Rush. I mean, they are in a perfect position to win this. I think if you're Philly, you know, you're looking at what does Carpe have? You know, an Overwatch 1 Season 1 Death Blossom kind of in the mix, right? That takes out everybody. I think it's more reliant on MN3 to hit some of these shots.
Carpe doesn't get where he needs to be. Also, he thinks, but Hardy was a decent target for him. The Primal Rage, though, makes it harder to capitalize on. Kitsune Rush now down for the Spitfire. The Sound Barrier is going to be there as well. Backbone coming in with the Death Blossom. And MN3 is felled. Bellasaria clinging to life. And you know what they say, Matt? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Once again, the London Spitfire dominate the Fusion in a post-season game. What a showing from this Spitfire. Really hard to have criticisms of their play in this match.
I mean, no, they look lights out awesome in this matchup against the Philadelphia Fusion. They look like they had a real understanding of how this meta is supposed to be played. Sparker, you know, goes toe-to-toe with, you know, MN3, who's fantastic on the Sojourn himself. London with a really good first win here.
And what a proof of concept for their take on the current meta. Looks like they've had plenty of time to work on it. Looking very, very clean. On occasion, right, the usual suspects for the Fusion turn up. Or the usual suspect, rather, is MN3 is able to show us some death-defying antics on that Sojourn. But it's not enough. Even with Carpe having a much better map on that Reaper, his performance is not able to sort of take things over the top for the Philadelphia Fusion. But outside of the individual, I think our biggest criticism is leveled at the Fusion's hesitancy. I mean, their lack of interest in sort of taking these fights early and often, and their difficulty in getting Bellasaria into a position to actually pressure backlines.
It felt like they started to get in a little bit of a groove there late on Route 66, but you know, it's so late in terms of the game and the series, right, that you put yourself so far behind. It just felt like a little, you know, too little, too late. Which, you know, now you drop into the loser bracket for Philly. I mean, there's going to be killers down there, right? I mean, there's not going to be a tough team in that, not going to be a easy team in that loser bracket. So, I think if you're Philly, you got to watch this VOD again, go over what you can improve on. But I think I agree with you. Just up the speed of play, pace of play.
Let's talk play of the match now, Matthew, in this first playoff game. It's the one, the only, the German Dynamo, known as Hardy, leading from the front, like all good leaders should. From start to finish, a squeaky clean performance on Winston, a hero that he faced a ton of criticism on, especially last year. People said he was feeding, he was dying too often, out of position, you name it. It was leveled at this guy. But now his game has been taken to another level. The hard work that he's purported to have put in, absolutely paying off. This first delegate from the Eastern region, absolutely shell-shocked by the Spitfire's relentless assault.
Yeah, and I think what you saw from Hadi, specifically in those first two maps, he was able to just cause so many problems for the Philadelphia Fusion backline in MN3, and there was no response from Philly for those first two maps, and that's why they were able to really dominate the London Spitfire. This third map, Route 66, they definitely made it harder on Hadi, but a fantastic series on the Winston.
No doubt about it. Dealing with Winston, you know, going into a lot of these Reaper-based compositions is always a pretty scary prospect. And yet, Hardy has less than 4 deaths per 10 minutes, which is a really very, very good result for a hero like Winston, who needs to be in the enemy team's face, who only has very limited windows of durability based around his bubble. The fact that he's able to get away with having such a high impact with this over 20 eliminations per 10 minutes, he's involved in every fight in a very key way. And the rest of his team are preventing him from falling to these really nasty tank killers like Reaper. Great showing from Hardy. Really important. Another step in the evolution of this London Spitfire team. It must feel good for them to come on, you know, into this tournament with even footing with a lot of teams. They've had a decent amount of time to acclimate to the change and patch. And this metagame, I don't think, you know, Philadelphia are going to be the first of their victims in this regard. There should be a lot of teams, even from the Western region, even who placed higher than the Spitfire, that should feel it going forward,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think with the way that this meta looks to be shaking out, favors teams like the London Spitfire, who can play this fast, aggressive, brawly style of play constantly, but also have a really good Sojourn there, you know, in that backline, able to nail shots like Sparker. So I think teams like, you know, London, I'm excited to see, you know, some of the other teams like the Gladiators play in Dallas in this type of meta. I think it's going to be really interesting.
That's it. There's much more, of course, to come from today's matches. Ladies and gentlemen, so stick around for more of your Overwatch League 2022 playoffs. Don't go anywhere.
I can also I'm on the shot, guys. I'm pushing him. I go one. Reaper one. Solo. So one.
Let's go.
Why are they barking?
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Butterfinger. Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.
Right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's game. And we will see you guys next stream, which will probably be tomorrow. See